Hi everyone, STF Field Manager Jake Henry here, and today I wanted to make another video on the benefits of trees. And one of those incredible benefits is absorbing stormwater. So we're actually at a retention pond here today, so we'll talk a little bit about what retention ponds are and how trees are involved, because this is a really cool thing that's happening more and more in urban areas, and it really does help a lot with stormwater management, and it's what we like to call green stormwater infrastructure. And so what that means is it's different from gray stormwater infrastructure, which is normally concrete. So it's moving water from urban areas out into natural areas. But we can do that with green stormwater infrastructure as well. And so this area is actually a combination of the two. This is a pretty cool site here. If we look over here, we can see a little inlet here. So this is actually a drainage pipe that feeds into this retention pond from this neighborhood over here behind me. And this is sort of an overflow area. So there's this large pond here. It's been kind of dug out, and this can hold quite a bit of water. So this water comes in here, and what it does is it sits here. And there are a lot of ways that this water is then processed. So we have lots of plants and grasses down there to help process and absorb that water. We've got trees along the edge that are also helping absorb that storm water. Now right now they're just on the edge, but tree roots can really expand very far. So as these trees grow, those roots will be well into this retention pond, and they'll soak up water even when it's not all the way full. And we have a couple cool species out here we'll talk about in just a second. But essentially this pond fills up with water, and ideally it doesn't get completely full. But if it does, there's actually a little, you can see a little concrete section over there that's sort of an overflow, so it can drain out to somewhere else if this is completely filled up. So this is one way that's really cool to help process stormwater. Essentially, you let it sit here and then we can let it evaporate, plants can take it up, so that we're not having to move it and we don't have to create quite so much gray stormwater infrastructure. We don't have to use as much concrete, because that's the goal at the end of the day, is to create more green space and less concrete gray space. So we do have some really cool species out here. There are a lot of really common species you can find in retention ponds, and the unifying theme with those species is they need to be flood tolerant. As I said, hopefully it's not completely filled, but sometimes it can be. Now a lot of these are up on the edge, so it's not likely that they'll be sitting in standing water, but this tree species would be okay even if that were the case. So this is our bald cypress, or Taxodium distichum. This is a really cool native tree species that is becoming more and more popular in urban areas. It's also tough in droughty environments. And one of the cool things about this species is it puts up these little knees when it's really, really wet. You'll see them in those swamps, the big cypress knees that sort of help them root so they don't fall over, and helps them collect a little bit of oxygen. So that's one great tree species for retention ponds, and you'll see them in some areas even planted right at the base of the pond, and they still do fine. They really love lots and lots of water. There's some other species that aren't out here today that actually do pretty well. Some oak species can tolerate some flooding. Tupelo is another native tree species, or Nyssa sylvatica, that can deal with some flooding, doesn't mind a little bit of standing water, and is really great for pollinators. That's where Tupelo honey comes from. We also have, here along the edge, you can see some eastern red cedars, or Juniperus virginiana. These are an incredibly tough tree species. If you're driving out Highway 80 to Tybee, this is pretty much the only tree you see out there, because they are salt tolerant, they are drought tolerant, they're a little bit of flood tolerant. They are just kind of an everything tough tree. Now they grow pretty slowly, which is okay, but boy are they tough, and they're a great tree to sort of line retention ponds with. So that's one of the benefits that trees can provide us. They can help soak up this stormwater so that we don't have to pay so much for gray stormwater infrastructure. They can process the water here and really just make it a little bit easier on us and help create some green space in urban areas. So thank you all so much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. Take care.